two projects that he worked on that were a little unconventional in his methods. The first was the construction of the hospital. So in 1810, he applied back to base in London for some funding in order to get the hospital made. And when that was rejected, he decided that the most effective way to achieve his the project's completion was to enlist the help of a couple of businessmen, and a deal was arranged in which a small monopoly or a short-term monopoly on the import of rum would be the primary sort of method of payment. So my understanding is it was something like 45,000 gallons of rum, and then apparently later on it was increased to 60,000. So if you wanted to get something done, rum was a pretty good way of getting it done by the sounds of it. And a fun fact about that is there were three wings to the hospital. So they had a central, a northern, and a southern. And now the northern and southern are two different buildings. So it's Parliament House in Sydney, and the other went on to become the Sydney Mint. So a little fun fact for you there. The other thing, and I think maybe more the focus of the video, and something that's I think really interesting, is he was also responsible for the creation of the famous Holey dollar and dump. So this was a time when coins were pretty scarce, I suppose you could say. A lot of the incoming traders would come in, and any deals that were done, unfortunately that money would then leave the colony. So there was a real lack of stability, I suppose you could say, in the small economy at the time. And in order to sort of shore things up, Lachlan Macquarie caught wind of a convicted forger being in the colony, and his name was William Henshaw. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but there you go. And so he sort of bargained with this convict. My understanding is he negotiated an early release on his sentence, which I believe was about 7 years, and I think it was reduced by about 6 months. So what he had him do is he took a large shipment. He got permission to organize a shipment of 40,000 Spanish dollars, or like the 8 reals coins, and he had William stamp out the center of them, and then they attributed a value of 15 pence to what is now known as the dump, which is a little circle that came out, and 5 shillings to the Holey dollar, which was the remaining portion of the coin. So it was a great success for the period, as I understand it, but I believe in 1829 they were demonetized, and a large portion of them were returned to London and melted down for their intrinsic value, because outside of Sydney they weren't, no one would have really had any use for them. So my understanding is also that there are about 300 of the Holey dollars that remain, so they're incredibly rare, and as a result incredibly valuable. So you will usually see them ranging anywhere from 50,000 right up to $500,000 for some of the finest known examples. And then for the dump, the reports sort of center around about 1,500 of those remaining. Now, a terrible example, you can get those for about $1,000, but then they go right up to $40,000 or $50,000 for some of the really nice ones. So that was just a little bit of an overview on both the Rum Hospital and the Holey Dollar and Dump. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.